Hi, this is going to be a quick update on Monter, which is the game I'm working on, and how the engine has been improved. Right now, we're working on the in-game editor, and as you can see, some proper lighting finally. All right, so what we have added is the ability to insert any empty. You can select a mesh and give it a name. Can be anything. You know, we're gonna create it, and you can move it around like that. Pretty nice stuff. You can also make it bigger and delete it. Well, that's not really that's not really cool. What's cool is we now have a lighting editor too. As you can see, that's a point light in our game, and we can play with its constants variables to change how the light transports, how far the light intensity varies over the distance. And since we're rendering HDR now, we can just put the values that are over 1 as the color, and it will just convert high HDR into low DR, right? So we have the freedom to make light as intense as we want it to. Let's just change it back to 101, and if you put a number in this place, it shows you the graph of the attenuation equation that we have, and if I tune it a little bit, you can see there's light changes to the graph. The graph basically is the y-axis is light intensity, and the x-axis is the distance. And the further it is, the dimmer the light is. And the light intensity fall off is quicker when it's closer to the light. Much like how the light works in real life. And that's all dandy and good, but there's a problem. So obviously this light is what is, if you're playing a game, you'll think light comes from this light model, which in actuality doesn't have anything to do with lighting at all. So when we try to move the light model like that, the light object just detaches from the actual object when I move it. So in order to still make that light, we have to move things, and we're doing the same operation twice. What we could do though is say attach to entity lamp, and we attach to it. The light snaps to the model's position, and we can give it a relative position to the model's position. And when we change the model, the light also changes. So that makes it easier to edit stuff. And we also added option to rotate stuff. So if you look at that room, that mysteriously placed room, we can select it first, bring it back, and rotate along the y-axis, negative 90 degrees. That was counterclockwise if we're in a left-hand coordinate system. And untoggle it to see it. Yeah. It looks way nicer than the one before. And another thing I did to the game is directional light. So you can actually emulate sun now. It's pretty cool. So give it some random number and give it full light. And that's what it looks like when it's daytime in Monter. Of course, I'm going to turn that off and show you that we have the option to save the entire world now. And what it does is just to take memory in a game, which is representing all these objects and light informations. We save all those things into a small chunk of memory, then we dump it into the disk, and when we want to load it, we load it back up from the disk. And well, if I just load it right now, there's no way to test if that thing works. So I'm gonna load the world I've made for the video recording session. So this is a little test I've done to test how the light will interact with each other when there's two lights. There's a green light coming out from the tree, and there's a red light coming out from the player, and there's a white light coming out from the light model, and you can see how they interact. It's quite interesting, really. I especially like how the green light from the tree is affecting the wall here. And if I walk over there, part of the wall is going to be red and part of the wall is going to be green. I think that this looks pretty cool. Get closer to the wall, you can see how the light spreads out. There's some artifacts like radio banding, but that will be taken care of. And now if we want to load it back, the world that we saved before, and we can do that, we have the world back. So that's about it. That's about all I did. Next step is going to be shadow and global illumination, hopefully. Working in OpenGL is, you just have to do tons of debugging. It's not very pleasant, so it might take a little longer to do any kind of update. That's about it. That's all I did to Monter in this update. Alright, thanks.